What is good with y'all, man? So if you guys remember, I dropped a video a couple months ago, and it was basically like just a really good way to run zone KOs with the with the 12 AP system. Things have changed. We got the 6 AP system now. Some of you guys have asked me, hey, what's the best way to run the zone KOs now? So we're gonna kind of talk about that, just the zone stuff. I don't run man coverage, so I can't speak on it. I'm not going to speak on it. We're gonna be talking about strictly zone. I'm gonna show a couple different ways that you can run it with the cover 4, Tampa 2, the cover 3, and the things like that, man. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, you guys, people, we did change the setup. I got an actual wall behind me right now. If you guys want, I was thinking about doing like a little room tour with my setup and stuff like that. If you guys would be interested, just drop a like and maybe I'll go ahead and do that. But let's talk about this zone KOs, the AP, and the things like that. We only got 6 AP, man, but even with 6 AP, you could put a lot of goddamn abilities on the field. Just had to change my AP around because I totally forgot I've been playing house rules trying to get that damn Lester Hayes because he sells for like 2 million coins. And you guys know if you play house rules, the X factors like start on the entire time. So I was like saving AP, just putting universal coverage on guys, and then just like putting a bunch of other like acrobats and stuff on. So I just had to change my AP to the AP I actually run an actual head to head. So that's what we're going to talk about first. Basically, I'm going to talk about the AP that I run. I run a lot of cover 4, Tampa 2, and things like that. And then I'll show you some other ways that you could really run your AP and, a cover 4, a Tampa 2, or a cover 3. So like I said, I run a lot of cover 4 quarters, Tampa 2, zone, strictly zone. And on my safeties, I run deep out zone and mid zone K on both of my safeties, free safety and strong safety. And the reason why is I like running the mid-zone KO because for cover 4 quarters, I like to, kind of bring everybody down, the safeties down and stuff like that. And it works from about, I would say, 15 to 20 yards downfield in the middle of the field in between the hashes. And it's just a good way to break up, quick streaks and, just stuff like that. Then I also got the deep out zone KO on because, the Tampa 2. And then when you got your, your safeties back deep, it'll work deep downfield. Because I like to have KOs, kind of for every situation. Even though I don't have them for every situation, but my safeties, I need them for every situation. Because the way I run my defense, the safeties got to be able to multitask a little bit. The other key thing on my safeties is I have pick artist on both of them. Pick artist is on everybody, and that's another thing we're going to talk about. If you're running zone coverage, I feel like you kind of have to have pick artist out there, right? If you're running man coverage, I'll be honest, something you could honestly just do. Put medium routes, deep route KOs, and just spam them on everybody. Get guys to get that shit for 0, and just get like every type of man KO out there. And then you don't really need pick artists because guys are going to at least be on the hip of some of these guys. When you're in zone coverage, sometimes guys are in kind of weird spots and they kind of need the pick artists. You know what I mean? So if you're running zone coverage, I would definitely recommend getting pick artist on most of your guys. For my outside corners, what I'm running is Slay and Asante Samuel. They just got pick artist and deep out zone KO. Before the AP change, I think I had only differences in both my outside corners at acrobat. Now they do not have it, so I still have my KOs out there and my pick artist. Really the reason why I run the deep out zone is just because cover 4, that the guys are running back outside the numbers. It's gonna just make sure you don't get agged on and stuff like that. If you run a lot of Tampa 2, you can put flat zone KO, but you got to be careful with it because let's say you're putting 30-yard cloud flats out there. If you're putting 30-yard cloud flats out there, you might as well just put deep out zone KO because it's going to light up. Because I think once you get past 25 yards, it lights up. So, but if you want to put both of them on, you can. You know what I mean? I like pick artists, you know what I mean? With 6 AP, you got to kind of pick and choose. For my slot corner, what I had on him before the AP change was deep route KO, just because my slot corner, I'm either blitzing him, I'm putting him in a very short flat, like a 0-yard to 5-yard flat, or he's manned up. So I used to have the deep route KO for when I made him up. Guys try to, put him deep. I had actually a slot corner. I had Steven Nelson that had deep route KO for 0, but he sucked. So I just went back to Eric Allen, and I'm just running pick artist on him. So that is kind of, I guess the biggest loss there for my slot corner. And then both of my linebackers in the middle, I use Kaiser and Jordan Hicks. They just have lurkers, so they don't have any KOs. So really the KOs are just on my safeties and my outside corners. That's really about it. Then some lurkers. I got edge rusher abilities, D-line abilities, and stuff like that. So that's just how I personally run my defense, like cover 4 quarters in Tampa 2. Now we could kind of go over the best way I would run it for, I guess, just each individual coverage. We're going to start off with Tampa 2. So Tampa 2, I would recommend, honestly, for your safeties, just pick artist in deep out zone KO. That's about it. You don't really got to do anything too crazy with that. And if you're really just like, I really don't want the pick artist, then just get safeties that get deep out zone KO for 0, or even if you want to throw some corners out there. I mean, I got Troy Vincent a corner at safety. I've been doing that a lot this year. Just make sure they have some decent hit power and tackle, and you should be good to go. Outside corner wise, it's tough because, like I said, if you're putting like 30-yard cloud flats out there, then you're gonna want to put deep out zone KO on your corner, because flat zone KO is not gonna work over 25 yards. So if you want, you could go flat zone KO and deep out zone KO, or you could go deep out zone KO and pick artist, or you could go flat zone KO and pick artist. It just kind of depends on the depth you're putting your cloud flats at. Now, if you're just leaving your cloud flats on the fault, then sorry, I mean, I just hit my remote a couple times. If you're putting your cloud flats on the fault, then I would probably just go with flat zone KO and pick artist. So yeah, that's probably the best thing. In slot corner wise, for Tampa 2, you could go mid zone KO and pick artist, or you could just go pick artist. That's kind of really up to you. Just, what depending on what your slot corner's on the most. If he's on hook curls, mid zone KO. If he's on curl flats, flat zone KO. If you're manning him up, then deep route KO is low key the best one to put on, in my opinion, out of the man coverage ones. So I just rock pick artist on my slot corner. That's just kind of what that is. And for your linebackers in the middle of the field, like I said, I don't have any KOs on them. I just have strictly lurker, secure tacklers. If you're actually using linebackers, then lurkers, and things like that. Those are kind of the best ones to put. All right, so we just did what? Tampa 2. I went over how I run my abilities. Now we're going to talk about cover 4. So cover 4. The thing with cover 4 is, man, I would say just go with the mid zone and pick artist. But if you're playing cover 4, there's going to be times that you're actually going to want to have your safeties deep, and you're going to want that deep out zone KO. You know what I mean? Because, sometimes you're going to want that. You're not always going to want them to just play the quick pass breakup. Sometimes you're going to want your safeties to actually be deep downfield. So if you don't have that deep out zone KO, then you know what I mean? So if you're playing cover 4, man, honestly, I would say you're probably going to want to have to go with the mid zone and the deep out zone, just to have that versatility. Or you could just, kind of pick one. If you just want to go with the mid zone KO and blitz a whole lot and just have them play the quick passes, go ahead and do that. Or you could just go with the deep out zone KO and have them actually, play deep, like I guess how they're kind of supposed to in cover 4 quarters. That's up to you. Me personally, I would recommend mid zone and deep out zone, just so you can have that versatility. And you're definitely going to want to have pick artists, and I would recommend that on both your safeties. And then the outside corners, just pick artist and deep out zone KO. That'll do perfectly fine. Slot corner, you could go with either flat zone KO, pick artist, and deep route KO. Those are probably the 3 that I would go with. And then, like I said, the guys in the middle, like lurker, a secure tackler, I don't really think you personally need KOs on them. Now I run like a lot of nickel over defense. I guess I probably should have said that in the beginning. So it's 4 linemen, 2 safeties up top, 3 corners. So I probably should have said that in the beginning, because a lot of you guys might run dollar and things like that. But this is kind of the best setup for like a nickel normal. I always call it nickel normal. I know it's nickel over now, but it's just always been called nickel normal, so I just can't get it out of my head. Now we're going to talk about our last coverage, cover 3. Now a lot of you guys, I'm hoping, honestly, don't run cover 3. I think I said this last video. Cover 3, it's just not very good. It's very easy to beat. So if you're running cover 3, though, I guess for your safety, I would, honestly, I don't know. Like, it's tough because you would think to go deep in zone KO, but deep in zone KO doesn't work. So it's another one of those things where it's like, do you go mid zone? Because mid zone only works up to like 15 to 20 yards in the middle between the hashes, so it's not working on the deep stuff. So it's like, do you go with deep out zone? Realistically, I'll be honest, your answer is get the hell out of cover 3. But if you really want to be in the cover 3, then I would say, depending on whichever one of your safeties is playing the deep middle, the inside third, I don't know if it's your free safety, your strong safety, whoever your guys that's sitting in the middle, I would put deep out zone KO and pick artist on them. I would probably just go with that. And then both your outside corners, deep out zone KO and pick artist. And then I know the other safety usually kind of comes down, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess On the other safety, that's not like on the deep middle and that's actually like, you know, coming down in the cover three, I would go pick artist in either flat zone KO or mid zone KO. Honestly, trying to think, I don't know. It's kind of tough because I know they're going to kind of play the middle and they'll kind of play the outside. So honestly, if you want, you could kind of go with that mixture of mid zone KO and flat zone KO on him and the pick artist. To be honest, on the other safety, that's probably what I would do. The one that's coming down, and then your slot corner. I would go, if you're running cover three, you're probably gonna definitely have him on like hook curl. So I would go mid zone KO and pick artist, and that's kind of how I would probably run that. But honestly, I really wouldn't recommend cover three unless like you're like, you know, making adjustments out of a Tampa 2 or a cover 4 and kind of making it look a little bit more like a cover 3. That's cool, but just coming out like that cover 3 base, it's just really ugly. Like not having that 2 safety shell up top, it just, I don't know, me personally, I get a little bit of confidence when I just see that 1 safety over there. But I mean, yeah, those are pretty much the base coverages. We talked about Tampa 2, we talked about cover 4 quarters, we talked about cover 3 with you know, 6 AP. There's only so much you could do with it. I guess some additional stuff I'll throw in there. I do run inside stuff, so on both of my D tackles. I got, you know, Reggie White with what is it? No outsiders, edge to the lead. Reddick, some other edge rusher. He's got no outsiders, so that's just kind of some extra stuff I like to run. I mean, I blitz a decent amount, I would say. If you guys got any questions, go ahead and comment them down below. I'll always answer all the questions. I never gatekeep anything. You know, some people be like, oh, buy my ebook to get this information. I just give it out for free, man. Even though, I mean, the stuff we talked about is just kind of, it's not like anything crazy. We just kind of talked about, you know, the best ways to put guys in the right position. I mean, I think I dropped a video too, I think, talking about the best way to get some of the KOs to work and stuff. If I can find that video, I will drop the link down in the description. It was basically a video that just shows you the depth of where KOs are going to light up and the best places to put them to get them to light up. So I'm gonna try to find that video and put that in the description if you guys want to check that out. But that is pretty much gonna do it though, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and your boy is out.